After Kevin helped the man who had been poisoned by the herbal pill, his granddaughter thanked him and left the auction hall with her companions. Isaac Holden started insulting Kevin for no reason other than jealousy. This really irritated Dalton. "Are you done talking crap?" Dalton said as he slapped Isaac in the face. "If you do that again, I'll throw you in the river," Isaac shouted angrily. He hadn't forgotten that Dalton had already knocked him down once this evening. "Why don't you try it?" Dalton snarled. He rolled up his sleeves as he walked towards Isaac. "Dear, please don't get angry," Miranda pleaded as she held him back. "Don't lower yourself to his level." Miranda was very disappointed. Nobody had talked to Dalton like this in years. This guy had no idea what he was getting into. "For my wife's sake, I'll let you go this time," Dalton said coldly. Kevin shook his head with a faint smile as he watched this scene. It took a ruthless man like Dalton to deal with a putz like Isaac Holden. Just then, Zane suddenly walked up to Kevin and patted him on the shoulder, saying, "Thank you so much. I'm sorry about what I said earlier. How about we make friends? You can call me Zane from now on." "Sounds good. My name's Kevin." He smiled and gave him a friendly nod. Zane seemed to be a lot like Dalton, and Kevin felt comfortable talking with him. They chatted casually for a few minutes, and then Kevin asked curiously, "I'm wondering about those two people, Zane. Why were you so shocked to see the woman's ID?" When Kevin said this, Zane put his finger to his lips and then pulled over to a corner where no one could hear them. "Kevin, I already think of us as brothers, so I'll tell you the truth," Zane said seriously. "That woman and her grandfather are from a very powerful underworld organization. They call themselves the Myriads, and they're interested in a bit more than herbal medications. I've heard of them, but I didn't know they were that much worse than any other groups," Kevin said in surprise. Zane nodded. "Those two aren't just ordinary members of the group either. It's not like underworld gangs have ID cards. What she showed me was an ID from the School for the Healing Arts. That means they're starting to get into some higher-level stuff," Zane continued seriously. "You should be really careful, Kevin. Now that you saved that man, you may have put a target on your back." "I'm sorry I asked," Kevin said glumly. "Take care, brother. If you need anything, just let me know. You can always count on my family's help," Zane said sincerely. The two of them kept talking until the auction was finished. Zane asked one of his assistants to bring a box for Kevin. "Please accept this as a token of the Pearl family's gratitude for your help today. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have something to deal with now that the auction is over." Kevin thanked him and opened the little box. Inside was, of course, a pearl lapel pin in a gold setting. As Kevin was looking at the lapel pin, he got a call from the body shop. They were finally finished repairing the damage to his roadster. He asked them to bring the car over and park it in the auction hall's underground garage. He wandered around outside the auction hall for a while until the driver showed up to drop off his car. As Kevin walked down to the garage, he put on the pearl lapel pin that Zane had given him. Before he reached the car, Kevin ran into Truman Anderson, Phoebe, and Isaac. "So, I see you're driving your wife's car," Isaac said loudly as he patted the car's hood. "Sorry, but I bought this car myself. I know it's just an old beater, but I like to keep a low profile," Kevin said casually. Their conversation attracted some attention from the people who were filing out of the auction hall. They couldn't believe someone would call a $3 million car an old beater. Truman just shook his head when he heard Kevin say that. He thought that maybe Kevin was right for his daughter after all. "You're such a braggart. If you're so rich, why the hell didn't you buy anything at the auction?" Isaac asked with a sneer. Just as Kevin was about to reply, Miss Wilson hurried over to him. She went up to his window and handed him an exquisite box. Then she said politely, "Here are the Dream Lover necklaces we bought, sir." Kevin stepped out of the car, took one of the necklaces out of the box, and gave it to Miss Wilson, saying, "This one's yours." She shivered and said excitedly, "Thank you, Mr. Williams. I still have some things to take care of. Please head back to the office without me," Kevin said nonchalantly. Thank you again. I'm so lucky to work for a CEO like you, Miss Wilson said excitedly as she walked away holding the Dream Lover necklace. Truman and the other two were shocked. Of course they knew who Miss Wilson was, but did she actually call Kevin CEO? When did this piece of trash who's freeloading off the Jones family become CEO of Williams Media? Isaac thought to himself as his face turned red. Truman was absolutely floored. He never expected this. Kevin took out another necklace from the box and walked over to Phoebe. With a big smile, he said, "This one's for you." Phoebe didn't reach out right away. Instead, she stared at Kevin for a moment and then asked, "You're the CEO of Williams Media?" "Who would have guessed?" Kevin said with a laugh. Then he held out the necklace and said, "Go ahead and take it. Isn't it beautiful?" Truman gasped. The necklace was worth millions, and Kevin just gave it to his daughter like it was no big deal. Thank you, Phoebe said hesitantly. She was nervous and extremely excited, and she was also tempted to give Kevin a big kiss. "Well, I've got to get going," Kevin said as he started to get back into his car. Wait a minute, Phoebe said as she blushed a little. "You just gave me this beautiful necklace. Can I at least treat you to dinner?" When she said this, Isaac started to open his mouth, but he couldn't find the words. "Don't tell me you don't want to grab a bite with me," Phoebe asked. Of course, a meal wasn't worth nearly as much as a Dream Lover's necklace, but Phoebe just wanted to spend some more time with Kevin, even if it was just for a minute. "Okay, I'm a little hungry too," Kevin said with a smile. Then he opened the door for her and added, "Hop in. Just tell me where you'd like to go." "Okay," Phoebe agreed excitedly. She completely ignored her father, who was still standing there watching. "Dad, tell me you're not going to let Phoebe ride off with that useless freeloader." Truman just grunted and turned around to get into his own car. At first, he didn't like seeing Phoebe hang out so much with Kevin because he believed the rumors about him and figured he didn't have many prospects. But now, it was different. Now that he knew that Kevin was the president of Williams Media, Truman had a change of heart. "Dad, say something," Isaac begged as he talked to Truman through his car window. "Take care of it yourself. I'm too old for this crap," Truman replied as he rolled up his window and drove away. At that very moment, Kevin was driving into town chatting with Phoebe. While they were talking, Kevin's phone rang. He looked at the caller ID and was surprised to see that it was Officer Emmett. "Hello? Why are you calling so late?" Kevin asked her. "Do you have a minute, please?" Officer Emmett asked him very weakly. When he heard her say please, he almost floored the accelerator. But Phoebe was riding with him, so Kevin naturally had to show more self-control. "If you said please, I know it's serious. How can I help?" "There's definitely something I need help with. I'll be waiting for you at the Salix Leaf Hotel," Officer Emmett told him before she abruptly hung up the phone. Kevin sighed and turned to look at Phoebe. He said guiltily, "I'm really sorry about this. Everyone wants to treat me to a meal today. Do you want to go with me?" "Who is it?" Phoebe asked. She had clearly heard the conversation, and it sounded like the woman had a very close relationship with Kevin. "That was Officer Emmett from the Chicago Police," Kevin replied. "Anyway, it's not really that late yet. Why don't you come along with me? I'm sure she wouldn't mind." "No thanks. I'll just go home," Phoebe said. "It sounds like you have some business to discuss." "Okay, then I'll drop you off at home on the way," Kevin said very honestly. It seemed to Kevin that Phoebe was really too agreeable sometimes, but whoever ended up marrying her someday would be very lucky. However, Phoebe was very disappointed. She totally didn't think that Kevin would actually do what she asked. Sometimes he didn't pick up on things like that. Couldn't he tell that she really wanted to go along with him? But she figured that it was better for him to take her at her word instead of thinking that no means yes. Kevin dropped Phoebe off at her family's mansion and then headed over to the brand new Salix Leaf Hotel. The whole drive didn't take too long considering it was rush hour. Ever since Rachel had started managing the Salix Leaf Hotel complex with Kevin's help, she had developed several buildings that were very popular among tourists. Chicago residents liked to go there too. When Kevin entered the lobby, he immediately spotted Officer Emmett, who was sitting patiently by a window. He quickly walked to the sofa opposite her and sat down. But when she noticed Kevin staring at her intently, she said irritably, "If you keep looking at me like that, I'll poke your eyes out." "Well, if you do that, how can I help you?" Kevin replied as he shrugged his shoulders. Officer Emmett didn't say anything. She just rolled her eyes at him. "Well, what's going on? I don't have a lot of time," Kevin said as he picked up one of the drinks she had ordered for them. "Geez, don't be so impatient," Officer Emmett complained. Then she realized that something wasn't right. It seemed that calling Kevin for help was getting easier and easier. "Well," Kevin said restlessly. "I'll get straight to the point," Officer Emmett said very seriously. Then she looked around and asked him, "Have you heard anything about the Myriads?" "Why do you ask?" Of course Kevin had heard of them. He'd been with 2 of their members just a couple of hours ago. "Would you be willing to try to infiltrate their organization?" Officer Emmett asked as she looked deeply into Kevin's eyes. Kevin spat out his drink. He looked at her in surprise and said, "You've got to be kidding. You have so many highly trained officers, how could I possibly be of any help?" "It's precisely because you haven't had any specialized training that you could be ideal for this," Officer Emmett said as she sighed helplessly. "We have good intel that the Myriads are going to set up a branch in Chicago in the near future. My superiors want us to get to them before they have a chance to gain a foothold. If we don't do it in the next 2 months, we might as well pack up and leave town," she explained. "I know what you're capable of. You're our only hope to get inside the group," Officer Emmett said very seriously. "Stop it. I'll help you. Just don't start crying. I'm not good with crying," Kevin begged her. Then he asked, "So where will I go to find them?" "The first prison of Chicago," she replied awkwardly. "I can set it up so you blend in." "What are you talking about?" Kevin almost jumped up from the sofa. "Are you nuts? You want me to go undercover in a prison?" "We don't have any choice. 2 days ago we arrested a man who's pretty high up in the Myriads. But no matter what we do, we can't get anything out of him," Officer Emmett explained. "And we don't have enough evidence to hold him for very long. You'd only have about 10 days. "But I haven't said yes yet," Kevin said as he took a deep breath. Officer Emmett had really surprised him with this. "I don't know who else to turn to. If you don't help me, I could lose my job," Officer Emmett said quietly. "Let me think about it," Kevin told her. "Anyway, shouldn't Sherwin Blair be able to take care of you if you lost your job?" But Officer Emmett didn't care about that right now. She just wanted Kevin to promise he would help.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.